Smith, class of 1944 field. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp here for the Sports Fan Base Network as the 3-4 Malvern Prep Friars are on the road to take on the unbeaten 7-0 Episcopal Academy Churchmen. And Kapp, this could very well be the championship game in the Interac. Obviously, there's no playoffs in this conference, but 2 unbeatens in conference play. Off to great starts. We'll start with Malvern coming off a 49-44 victory at home, a barn burner. And Lonnie White was the story. 5 total touchdowns, 4 of them on the ground.
Yeah, Lonnie White was explosive in that game. You got to call that game, and I got to watch it on the broadcast. And he really showed why everybody thinks he's one of the best players in this southeastern Pennsylvania area. What a game by Lonnie White.
On the flip side, for the home team, the Churchmen, back-to-back weeks in Interact play, Jack Kapp, comeback victories. Their opening game against William Penn Charter, with less than a minute remaining, they scored a touchdown to take a late 21-17 lead, and they held on to it. And last week, their quarterback, Marcus McDaniel, found the end zone with less than 30 seconds to go in the game, and down 1, they said, let's go for 2. Got it, and came away with a huge victory on the road against Springside Chestnut Hill. That's made all the difference. They remain 2-0.
That's right. They are undefeated overall and undefeated in conference, clearly. And don't forget, Springside Chestnut Hill led that game with 7:43 left by 3 points, and they came back and won that game as Marcus McDaniel punched in the conversion. What a comeback by the Churchmen.
And Kapp, I think, we already said it. This is shaping up to be potentially the best game in conference play this season. But already we've had some great games. The 2 that Episcopal Academy has played have been phenomenal, but both of them coming down to fourth quarter plays. And the 2 games that Malvern's played thus far, last week, a 49-44 victory, a lot of scoring against Penn Charter. Penn Charter fought hard throughout that game. And the Malvern's opening game against Germantown Academy, a hard-fought victory, which for 3 quarters looked like a back-and-forth battle. This is the toughest we've seen the Interact in the last couple of years.
Yes, it's really, really high-quality play. Malvern had a rough start to the season, obviously playing national competition, and they were riding a 16-game winning streak coming into the season. Things have evened out now, and this should be, in my opinion, as you said, the game of the year, but also I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Malvern won the toss, so they will receive. Kicking off for the Churchmen is the senior Max Pasternak. He'll send it left to right on your screen. Kick is on its way. It's a high one. Receiving it is Isaiah Wright. He goes up the middle, has a hole, still going, right to midfield.
He dropped the ball.
Taken down, no signal for a fumble yet.
I think he dropped it and it popped right back into his hands. That's what it looked like.
So a great return by Isaiah Wright. He takes it 45 yards down the field and gets the ball to the 50-yard marker.
Yeah, Wright saw a lane there and busted through it, showing his great acceleration and speed. He had a great game last week.
Scored a touchdown last week. Scored 2 touchdowns 2 weeks ago in the Interac season opener.
He had a lot of touches last week.
Lonnie White in shotgun on 1st and 10. He has 2 receivers to his right. He's going to keep it. Runs to his left. Scrambles for every bit of yards he can manage and is taken down a yard shy of the first down marker.
Lonnie White, a very patient runner, looks for the holes and doesn't panic, gets as many yards as he can from every carry. Last week he was a dynamo.
Max Strid in on the tackle, make it 2nd down and 2 after the ball is marked on the Churchman 42. 2 receivers to White's left. Now he sends Ryan McGuire in motion into the backfield from the slot, fakes a handoff to him. White goes up the middle, breaks the tackle, still going. Down the sideline, 1 man to beat, and Lonnie White is into the end zone. His 5th rushing touchdown in the last 5 quarters of play.
And Lonnie White with an impressive touchdown there. And once again, we just spoke about his patience as a runner and his breakaway acceleration. That was certainly evident on that first touchdown. Very quick 6-0 score here. And they'll go for 1.
On to take the extra point is Andrew Monteith.
Number 16, Cole Cabot on the kick.
Kick is up and straight through.
good.
Put it on the board. It's a 7-0 lead for the Friars. Their drive took 2 plays, went 50 yards, took just 50 seconds off the clock, and Jack Kapp, the Friars, picking up right where they left off on offense last week at home.
Yeah, last week they scored 49 points in an explosion of offense. Again, Lonnie White leading the way, and he really looked good on those 2 runs right there. The first one went about 8 yards, and the second one went about 42, I believe.
And what did you like about the play design there? They sent McGuire in motion from the slot, faked the handoff, and I think half the defense thought that McGuire was going to receive the handoff.
So did I.
Great.
Yeah, it looked like he handed it off. I mean, his back was to us, but it looked like he handed it off. And all of a sudden I saw him running. I said, uh-oh, here he goes. And he just picks his spots there and busts through. He's tough. And he's got some speed, too, Lonnie White. I understand he's a baseball player.
Yes, he is. He'll be heading to Clemson in 2 years if he's not drafted
I was
before
gonna
that.
Say, if he keeps playing like this, he may end up somewhere else in football.
Now Jake Reed to send it away right to left on your screen for the Friars. A line drive kick fielded by Dominique Pacelli. Excuse me, that was Malcolm Folk on the return.
That was an excellent tackle.
Taken down short of the 20-yard line. Matthias in on the tackle.
Yep. Kellen Matthias, nice tackle there. And that ball will be placed at around the 15, maybe the 16. Let's see where they put it.
They gave him a little bit
16,
of a bump
17,
there. 17-yard line is where this
line.
drive will start.
1st and 10.
So here's the first look for the Churchmen on offense tonight. McAdams in shotgun. He hands it off on first down. Billy Adams wrapped up at the 21-yard line for a 4-yard gain. Kamen Hayes in on the tackle.
Kamen Hayes, a very active tackler for the visitors, and not much on that. Billy Adams around the end there. He's a junior running back for the Churchmen.
It'll be 2nd and 5 after a gain of 5 yards on the carry. Shotgun set for McAdams. 3 receivers to his left. 2 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. And
Daniel takes a snap.
a handoff now.
Cuts back.
And a short gain by Malcolm Folk, but he picks up the first down.
Yeah, he spun off a tackle there. I think the Friars were trying to steal the ball, and he spun off of that, picked up the first down.
And right about the 30-yard line.
So good opening series here for the Churchmen. Marcus McDaniel has been just short of excellent this season, responsible for 4 touchdowns last week alone.
Drop fumble the ball on the handoff.
It looks like it might go to the Friars. Let's see where it goes.
Well, McDaniel fell on the ball. Excuse me, I was saying McAdams beforehand. It's Marcus McDaniel. Yes. That was my mistake on that one. But McDaniel fell on the football to prevent the turnover there. It's a loss of 2 on the play. It makes it 2nd down and 12. 9 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
The Churchmen were lucky to retain that ball on that play.
Shotgun set for McDaniel. 3 receivers to his left side.
Getting some information from the sideline.
Now an audible. The receivers communicating to each other at the top of your screen. McDaniel to throw. He completes it. That's DiBenedetto, excuse me.
Yeah, nice deception there by McDaniel. Started to step up and then step back and got his balance. He was in great position to throw that ball. Short pickup.
Isaac White. That'll make it 3rd and short 3 for the Churchmen.
It's a gain of 9 on the play. Makes it 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, it was a pretty good pickup there.
DiBenedetto caught that in the flat and was able to pick up some extra yardage in isolation on the far sideline. Now on 3rd and 3, it's a fake handoff. McDaniel dives for the first down, and he has it.
McDaniel has been the surprise quarterback of Southeastern Pennsylvania this year. He has been very, very good, as we mentioned just a few minutes ago. Episcopal, the only team to beat powerhouse Northeast High School of the Philadelphia Public League, 26-13. The only stain on Northeast record. Northeast has been shutting teams down, shutting them out. I believe they have 4 shutouts.
Now a handoff on first down. It's a counter and a big gain for Matt Bush.
After a gain of about 20 yards.
Matt Bush with a great run there. He plays some defense, also wearing number 29. Met his father before the game. He's sitting just outside the booth, and he said, watch out for number 29.
A 17-yard gain. The ball is spotted on the Malvern 42-yard line. Churchmen in Friar territory for the first time this evening. 7:53 remaining in the opening quarter. Episcopal Academy trailing by 7. A swing pass into the backfield now. Folk with a short gain, taken down by 2 tacklers. Kellen Mathias and Jake Brownlee in on the play for Malvern.
And Malcolm Folk off on the side there, picked up a few yards. He's also a junior. A lot of juniors contributing to this Churchmen undefeated season so far.
Churchmen have stayed short thus far. They've relied on some swing passes and handoffs. Have yet to take a shot downfield. And now a fake handoff. McDaniels is going to keep it. Has a lane and will go to the end zone. Loses it as he dives for the goal line. There's a flag on the field way back at the line of scrimmage.
Okay, he lost the ball. It did not go out of the end zone. A Friar then touched it, and I believe it went out of the end zone after that. We'll have to get a ruling from head referee. Experienced man, Bill McKeever. That's the man in the white hat today. After a consultation, he'll come to the sideline and let us know.
Well,
flag is picked up.
So no flag in the backfield, but gain will stand. They mark McDaniel down at the inch line, so it's not a fumble. They say his knee was down as he dove for the end zone, and the Churchmen will have the ball first and goal with about an inch and a half to go.
Evidently, that's what happened. His knee went down, and then the ball smacked against the turf, and all that subsequent activity occurred.
So it's a 41-yard run for McDaniel.
Oh, he's fast. He demonstrated it there. We have 2 very fast quarterbacks.
And now a handoff for a score. Diving into the end zone is Billy Adams, the junior running back. And Episcopal Academy is an extra point away from evening it in the first quarter.
Well, they strike right back. They never hesitated. Right downfield, a great run by quarterback Marcus McDaniel. And a 7-6 game with the extra point ensuing.
The Churchmen went 84 yards on the drive. They took off just over 4 minutes from the clock. Extra point is good. It's a tie ball game with 6:42 remaining in the first quarter. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp, and Malvern with a quick strike to start it, but the Churchmen with a big answer there, showing they'll be here all evening long.
Churchmen said right back at you, Lonnie White, as Marcus McDaniel with the big gainer set up that touchdown. It's an even score, and as we talked about earlier, we think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and so far it clearly is in this first quarter.
Now, something to keep note of, Jack, is let's think about this. Malvern, they scored in 50 seconds their opening touchdown. We saw last week the quick strike offense, very impressive. Every time Lonnie got the ball, he'd score very quickly. But Penn Charter, they'd put together these long drives, keep the ball on the ground, take time off the clock, and keep Malvern's defense on the field, and were able to hang around because they really wore out the Malvern defense because of the time of possession. Malvern was scoring so quickly. How much of a factor is that in this game
tonight? That's always
a
factor. It's always a factor. We'll see if that occurs here. It's a short kick on the
ground.
Squib
kick, fielded well in return by Jack Mulqueen, and he is taken down near his own 40-yard line. Mulqueen, if you remember last week, Jack Kapp, in the final minute of the opening half, he fumbled the kickoff that was squibbed by Penn Charter, which allowed them to score a key touchdown
right before halftime.
But towards the end of the game, when they tried that again, Penn Charter, Mulqueen, he fell on an important kick late in that game to seal the deal for the Friars.
Covered it. That game had 94 points in it, Chris, right?
Oh, it was a
49 to 45?
Yes, it was. It was a shootout.
It's one of the highest scoring high school games we've seen in a long, long time.
Lonnie White with first down and 10, ball on his own 41-yard line. He fakes a handoff to Stephen Rose Jr. Runs to his left, taken down near the line of scrimmage, maybe got one.
Lonnie White feeling a lot of confidence based on his last couple performances and certainly opening up with a continuing amount of confidence in this game.
Malcolm Folk with the tackle on White makes it 2nd down and 9. White with an empty backfield. Now Stephen Rose goes in motion, comes into the backfield. It's a fake handoff to Rose Jr. White goes up the middle, gets a couple yards, and is taken down right near midfield. It's a 6-yard gain by White, taken down by Max Strid.
That's that same play they've run a couple of times now. Let's see what they run with 3rd and 4 approximately. The ball on the 47.
3 receivers to Lonnie White Jr.'s right. He's in shotgun with Stephen Rose Jr. in the backfield. Isaac White goes in motion to the left. Lonnie White up the middle, and he's taken down, maybe got a yard, and now White gets to his feet and pushes a lineman on Episcopal Academy. A flag flies, and that's going to be for unsportsmanlike.
Yes, most likely that flag came from head referee Bill McKeever. Once again, the man in the white hat, and he will come to the sideline and explain what he saw. Here he comes. Personal foul.
And it's a personal foul on the Churchmen.
You see, you never know which way that's going to go unless he pointed the wrong direction.
Well, Lonnie White got up and he pushed a member of the Churchman defense. Now that was probably after the initial unnecessary roughness, but I think what Episcopal Academy is upset about, Jack Kapp, is the shove by Lonnie White Jr. So no signal. And we have the signal for a penalty against the Churchmen, but now we're having a conversation again between the referees.
Yep. Bill McKeever's explaining things here. He's a seasoned official, as I mentioned earlier. He's been around for decades and decades wearing that white hat. Gets all the big games. Works with his son quite often.
Talking it out with one of the umpires.
He's explaining it.
5:26 remaining in the first quarter. It's a tie ball game, 7-7. Malvern with possession of the football for now.
Now he's going to give another call. Personal foul the other way. Personal foul that way.
So it's offsetting personal foul calls, and that's the right call there, Jack Kapp.
I guess so, yeah. We didn't see the first hit, but wow, look at that.
So with the offsetting penalties, it remains 4th down and 4. The Friars will send their punt unit onto the field.
A little too much Lonnie White coming up the middle there, and clearly the Churchmen read it and sniffed it out, and we'll see our first punt of the evening.
Ronan Swope to send it away for Malvern.
There's still some explanation going on the other side now, on the Malvern side. McKeever has walked across the field and is now speaking to head coach Guerrera. We'll get everything reset in just a moment here.
Take it to the house, baby. Back to receive the punt for the Churchmen is Aiden Chavis. High punt from Swope. It's short, will take a bounce. And it's near the Episcopal Academy 15-yard line where it is downed by the Friars.
I think they may mark it right around the 14.
So a solid punt by Swope.
Yeah, it was not challenged at all. Punt was not challenged. They went back for coverage. Churchmen, that is.
So Episcopal Academy able to force the Friars to punt the ball. Malvern opened with an explosive 2-play drive. Lonnie White with a 42-yard touchdown run. But Episcopal Academy answered with an 84-yard touchdown drive that took over 4 minutes off the clock. And then they get the ball back on a punt, and they'll go to work again. Their second drive offensively this evening. 5 minutes, 7 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp here for the Sports Fan Base Network. On 1st and 10. Dangerous pass by McDaniels, and it falls incomplete, intended for Folk.
Yep, 2 Friars right on that.
2nd and 10, Churchmen.
Looks like it was Jake Jazz. How do you say that? Jazzez? Jake Jazz was on that. Jazzy Jake, along with Bo Aldridge, I believe, was the other corner on that play. 2nd and 10.
It's a shotgun set for McDaniel. 3 receivers to his right. He pitches it to his right on the option. And breaking a tackle is Billy Adams going up the sideline. Pushed out of bounds by Jake Brownlee, but not before he picks up the first down and more.
Yeah, Billy Adams, a junior, he just busted it to the outside there and took off. A lot of speed on that and some muscle, too. It'll be a 1st down and 10 at the 29.
I'd like to take this time to remind you today's game is brought to you in part by Eric McGee. Thinking of buying or selling a home? Call your favorite realtor and Malvern Prep dad, Eric McGee, at 610-310-6022. 1st down and 10. It's a handoff. Adams going to the right side, and he's pushed out of bounds near his own 34-yard line.
Forced out of bounds by number 1,
Kellen Mathias on the force out there.
We'll bring up a 2nd and long 5 for the Churchmen.
5-yard gain on the carry by Adams. Sets up 2nd down and 5.
2nd and 5 from about the 34, I'm thinking.
Matt Bush in the backfield for the Churchmen. 3 tight ends on the field now. Interesting formation, and now it's a handoff on a sweep. There goes Malcolm Folk, taken down just shy of the 50-yard line. A 1st down, 12-yard run on the play by Folk.
A quick hitter by Folk. He took off, got the ball and took off, saw open space, took advantage of it. Ball's right around midfield, around the 48. And another 1st and 10 for this explosive offense of the Churchmen.
4 minutes, 28 seconds remaining in the opening quarter of play. A 7-7 game. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp. The Friars on the road taking on the Churchmen. 2 unbeaten teams in conference play in the Interac, and now a flag flies before the play is able to get on its feet, and it's a false start against Episcopal Academy.
They'll take him back 5 yards. They'll start with a 1st and 15. Ball will be placed right around the 44-yard line. Make it the 43-yard line.
So after the laundry goes on the field, it's a 1st down and 15 for the Churchmen. But they've been moving the ball with relative ease in this opening quarter against the Friars defense.
Yes, they have.
It's a fake handoff. McDaniel goes up the middle and maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage, a gain of 5 on the carry.
Yeah, nicely designed plays we've seen so far in this first quarter by the Churchmen, and everything is executed with precision. And we see why they are an undefeated team. Now, we have not had them on our broadcast this season, but they are 7-0 for this 2019 football season.
Coming off back-to-back comeback victories in Interac Conference games. Shotgun set for McDaniel.
Steps back.
Fakes a run, sets up a screen. It's complete to Bush. Bush with room to run and picks up the 1st down and more as he passes the Malvern 40, taken down by a trio of white jerseys by the Friars.
Yes, and Bush has been impressive on every time he has touched the ball. Matt Bush, a senior here at Episcopal Academy, has looked very good. That's a great step-back move by Marcus McDaniel. That's the 2nd time he's used that move. Very effective.
Hayes was in on the tackle for the Friars alongside 2 of his teammates. It's 1st and 10 for the Churchmen. Ball on the Malvern 38. Fake handoff by McDaniel on the jet sweep. Now he looks to run. He pitches it close sideline. Folk with a spin move taken down from behind, but that is McDaniel turning garbage into gold as Falk was actually able to get the first down.
Yeah, he got the first down, and that was a last-second pitch out, and I thought it was going to get loose there for a second, but nicely handled, and they pick up the first down at the 26. So it's another 1st and 10, and they are moving the ball.
Mark it as a complete pass for a 12-yard gain through the air. 1st and 10 for the Churchmen, ball on the Malvern 26. This drive started all the way back on the Episcopal Academy 14-yard line. 2 minutes, 21 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Fake handoff. McDaniel keeps it and is taken down for a loss. A pair of defenders in on the play. Colton Deary there to bring him to the ground.
Colton Deary wearing number 51. Plays both ways. Nice tackle there, nice stop.
And it looked like Dale Law also was in there to help bring him to the ground.
Yes.
Loss of 1 on the play, make it 2nd down and 11 for Episcopal Academy.
On the 27.
2 men in the backfield with McDaniel. Now he sends a man in motion. It's a swing pass. Complete to Adams. Short gain on the play, taken down from behind by Christian Backrath.
McDaniel's very smooth on that play. He's looked good on every play so far in this game. Still in the first quarter, tie game 7-7, just over a minute remaining.
Episcopal Academy has been able to put together 2 long clock-churning drives in this opening quarter. The first one resulted in a touchdown. Audible here by McDaniel, as he looks to the sideline. 3rd down and 5. 3 receivers to McDaniel's right. Fakes a run, looks to throw, lobs it, end zone, has his man for the score. Bryce Cooper has it, and Episcopal Academy takes a first quarter lead.
What a throw by McDaniel, and what a reception on the other end by Bryce Cooper, a sophomore. He looked like an NFL receiver on that one, Chris.
A perfectly thrown ball by Marcus McDaniel into the corner of the end zone. Bryce Cooper high points it. Nothing you could do. A perfect pass into the end zone. A 13-7 lead for the Churchmen. Extra point is up, and it is good. A 7-point ball game. Episcopal Academy takes a 14-7 lead with 51 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp here for the Sports Fan Base Network. And Kapp, Episcopal Academy has had the ball for all but 2 minutes of possession time here in the first quarter. They've kept it on the ground, kept the clock churning, and they've really made the Malvern Prep defense work early in this game.
No question, and it's attack mode, and a very efficient and very effective attack mode it is for the Churchmen. They'll kick off now with 51 seconds left in this first quarter, and as we predicted, a high-scoring affair so far, 14-7. Churchmen over the Friars.
Max Pasternak will tee it up and send it away for Episcopal Academy. Back to receive is Yadir Nash and Isaiah Wright for the Friars.
Isaiah Wright has to be taken into account. If the ball goes to him, the Churchmen will have to go after him. Oh, it's a squib.
Second squib of the night by Pasternak. It's picked up by Stocker. And there he goes. D'Angelo Stocker.
It's a foot race.
Takes a stumble, still going. Pushed out of bounds on the far sideline, but not before a huge return deep into Churchman territory.
Well, so far I've been having a great time, and this game has certainly lived up to its billing. What a run on a squib kick, and great field position for the visitors.
Ball is marked on the Churchman 16-yard line. D'Angelo Stocker, the junior defensive back and receiver. And Jack Kapp, we know how fast he is. It's like the Friars just hit him in the middle of the field there, allowed Episcopal to use the squib kick, and that's the last person you want to see pick up a ball with room to run.
Once he made that move to the right side, he took off, and again, that was a foot race, and he was caught, but he did gain a lot of yards.
39 seconds remaining in the opening quarter of play. The Churchmen with a 14-7 lead over the Friars. Lonnie White Jr. in a shotgun set. He rolls out left, tries to throw, he's hit, breaks out of it, Fires to the end zone and throws it over the head of Isaac White.
Wow.
And that was a great play by Lonnie White Jr. just to evade the sack.
What an athlete he is. And he demonstrated it right there. On that play, I know a lot of the listeners or viewers might not remember, but he kind of looked like Randall Cunningham of years gone by on that play. And he got the pass off, too. A little lower on that pass, and they would have had another touchdown.
Well, I'll tell you what, Randall Cunningham from 30 years ago, I would say Patrick Mahomes from today is what Lonnie White looked like on that play, breaking out of the arms of Chase Anderson.
Right. A modern-day Randall.
2nd and 10, and White goes nowhere. Taken down in the backfield by Ben Kovitz. Excuse me, that was Max Stridden on the play, number 65.
Yeah, Max Strid on the play. A junior. Max Strid looking good on that play.
And the Friars will allow the clock to tick
that out. Yeah.
Down to 0. No, there's a timeout, on the field. And now the clock has 2 seconds tick off, so some confusion here at the end of the quarter.
They'll straighten that out. Should be one more play.
Now the clock says 4 seconds remaining. Neither team marching to the opposite end of the field, so we'll keep it right here for now.
Definitely one more play coming.
And now some time is added to the clock.
Now it says 9 seconds.
Looks like that's going to make it the end of the quarter, ladies and gentlemen.
And now we hear over the PA system that is the official end of the quarter, so no timeout was called. We're going to take a commercial break, but when we come back, second quarter action here on the Sports Fan Base Network. Second quarter action at Newbold Smith class of 1944 field. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp here for the Sports Fan Base Network. It's a 14-7 lead for the Episcopal Academy Churchmen over the Malvern Prep Friars. Malvern with possession of the football. It's 3rd down and 13. Ball on the Churchmen 19. Lonnie White Jr. With shotgun, fires for the end zone, and it is
no good.
Incomplete. Tinson couldn't drag his foot. It was a complete pass to Tinson, but he couldn't drag the back heel, and that brings up 4th and 13.
Lonnie White Jr. with some nice shoulder fakes there and a beautiful pass. From here, it looked like a touchdown, but it's the furthest point away from our broadcasting booth. I thought he got his foot down, but I guess not.
Well, even if he did get his foot down, perhaps the referee was saying his right foot contacted out of bounds.
Could be.
At the same time, his left foot dragged.
Obviously, the official was 1 foot away, and we're about 500 feet away. So,
4th and 13, Friars will go for it. Fake handoff. White fakes a pass, and he is taken down in the backfield. A huge sack by Chase Anderson, and the Episcopal Academy crowd getting into it in the second quarter.
A big stop by the home team, the Churchmen. Stopped Lonnie White. He was going to pass the ball, and then at the last second, he kind of stood and didn't know where to go and was taken down.
Cap, I mentioned to you briefly during the break.
Yes.
The kickoff returns for Malvern, they've gotten a lot of yards off of them, but that's really where most of their yardage has come. They haven't, as an offense, been able to take time off the clock, and their defense has really been working hard early in this game.
Yeah, time of possession clearly going to the home squad.
A short handoff on 1st down. Billy Adams taken down by Dale Law.
Billy Adams, junior running back, on that play, and it's about a 6-1 time of possession, I'm thinking.
Malvern has not had the ball for too long here today. Their only scoring drive tonight took 2 plays. On the second play of the drive, Lonnie White Jr. went 42 yards for a touchdown run. Now a sweep on 2nd and 11, and that goes for a loss. Nice tackle in the backfield by Cade Zostic to bring down Willie Kelly.
Yeah, Zostic with a nice ankle tackle. Perfectly done by him. Great mechanics on that tackle.
18-yard line.
Loss of 1 on the play by Kelly brings up 3rd down and 12.
3rd down and 12 from about the 18. This is an important play here to keep this drive going, of course.
McDaniel with 4 receivers. 3 to his left, and now a flag flies, and that's illegal motion. There's too many men on the field. There's 5 receivers and a man in the backfield right now for Episcopal Academy.
And nobody got fooled on that one. They're going to lose a few more yards right here.
So a 5-yard loss and
3rd and 17.
A miscommunication there. Too many men on the field. It's rare you see that called on the offense, Jack Kapp.
Yeah, something happened. Somebody didn't get off or somebody lost count.
On their own 12-yard line, 13-yard line.
Yeah, it is rare. You don't see that too often. But 3rd and 17, balls on the 13. This is going to be a tough one for the Churchmen.
Shotgun set for McDaniel. He's got 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. And he's going to run it up the middle for a short gain.
Yeah, they'll have to punt. Nothing on that.
Jake Brownlee with the tackle, and the Friars are able to force a 3-and-out and get the ball back with 9 minutes, 57 seconds remaining in the second quarter of action. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp, and that's the first time tonight, Jack, that the Friars defense able to get a stop against the Churchmen.
It's a high punt.
Sent away off the foot of Jake Jazz. Isaac White on the return, and he's able to get it to the Churchman 40, but a huge hit on the return.
He was lifted into the air, Chris.
Matt Bush taking him down to the ground, and I know it's a little early, Jack Kapp, but I think we got to give that our Stoll agency, All-American Sport in Northeast Philadelphia.
That's
For more information, call 215-342-6141. Got to give you credit. I always read that as Tabor.
Right, it's
the last
Tabor,
couple of times. Yeah, I know you live in that area.
That's my neighbor,
it's
but
Cotman and Tabor.
The GPS lady calls it Tabor also. So there you go.
So the Friars take over, ball on the Churchman 40-yard line. Fake handoff, and now White does give it to Isaac White. Looked like Lonnie White Jr. was going to keep it, but at the last second handed it off to Isaac White, but it goes nowhere anyway.
Right the White wearing white. And by the way, we met Mr. Bush before the game, Matt Bush's father, and he said he plays both ways, and he plays very well both ways, and he wasn't exaggerating. So I hope you guys watch the family watches this game afterwards, and a shout out to the Bush family.
Bush playing running back on offense, and he's out there at the linebacker position on defense. 2nd and 10 for the Friars. White in a shotgun formation. Isaiah Wright in the backfield. 2 receivers to each side of Lonnie White Jr. He takes the snap, has time. Fires deep, far sideline, a lot of hand contact, and the pass is caught by D'Angelo Stocker in tight coverage.
And that was a great pass, but also Stocker with a very professional reception, hauling that ball in down to about the 6-yard line. It looks like maybe the 7.
Aiden Chavez in on the coverage. A lot of hands being used by both those players on that play, but D'Angelo Stocker able to come away with it.
And that's what I mean by professional. They are playing like NFL players, those receivers on both sides of the field.
1st and goal, Isaiah Wright up the middle, still going, taken down, a nice tackle. And that was Max Strid with a grown man move to bring Wright to the ground.
Yes, Wright wearing number 26, a smallish running back, but a tough kid, and Strid took him down. The ball is on the 3, I believe.
2nd and goal for the Friars. Right in the backfield. It's a handoff. He goes left, has a hole and dives in.
Yeah, this game is living up to every prediction. Another touchdown by the visitors, and it's 14-13 with the extra point coming. We are still mid-second quarter here.
So the Friars are able to go 40 yards and score their second touchdown of the evening.
And Wright made that look easy. He dove right in there. Nicely called play by the Friars. It's up and it's good.
Extra point is through. It's a tie ball game. We're even at 14 with 7 minutes and 49 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp. And Jack, early on it looked like the Churchmen were going to pound the ball on the ground and wear out the Malvern Prep defense, but the Friars, with a big 3-and-out, they forced the Churchmen to punt, and then their offense able to punch it in for a game-tying score.
Right, and a big throw by Lonnie White. He's a pitcher in baseball, if I'm correct.
Pitcher and outfielder.
And we saw the arm right there. It was a perfect spiral, too, I believe.
Perfect spiral, but a great catch down the far sideline by D'Angelo Stocker, who coming into the season, Jack, he was a defensive back by trade, didn't play the receiver position until midway through the season. But this offense, which was struggling, needed a spark, and Coach Guerrera found a spot for him out there, and he has made do. That was his he has 2 receiving touchdowns this year, and that was a huge play early on in this game.
He certainly looked like a receiver on that one. He looked like a good receiver to boot.
The Friars will send it off left to right on your screen. Back to receive is Aiden Chavez and Malcolm Folk for the Churchmen. Jake Reed sending it deep.
Deep kick.
Chavez fields it. And he goes up the middle, has a hole, and is taken down near his own 22-yard line.
Made by number 32.
Jack Carpenter made the hit to bring Chavez to the ground on the kick return.
First and 10 from their own 22-yard line.
And now the ball marked on the 23 of Episcopal Academy. 7:44 remaining in the second quarter. The Churchmen are coming off of a 3-and-out. The first time they were stalled on offense tonight, and now it's an option that goes nowhere. Billy Adams met in the backfield. Dale Law, the first man to get to him for the Friars.
Yeah, he smelled that one out very easily, made the tackle. No gain, I believe. Probably lost a yard.
Good awareness by Dale Law coming off the edge there.
39 is Dale.
Second down and 11 now for Episcopal Academy. It's a shotgun set for McDaniel. Man in motion in the backfield. He fakes a handoff. Looks to fire it. Close sideline. A one-handed catch and a beauty by number 27, Malcolm Folk. Doing it all here tonight.
That might be the play of the game so far. It actually is the play of the game. A one-handed stab there and kept it in control as he headed out of bounds. Well, accurately called.
You said it, Jack Kapp. That's tonight's Stoll Agency play of the game. Stoll Bonds and Insurance specializes in the construction business industry. For all your bonding and construction insurance needs, please go to www.stollagency.com. Fake handoff on 1st and 10. McDaniel keeps it and is taken down hard.
Yeah, what a tackle.
Big tackle by Zostic in the open field.
Yeah, Cade Zostic getting his name called several times so far tonight. He just flipped quarterback McDaniel.
And then some extracurriculars after the play. Zostic and McDaniel.
A couple
You could
words
see
there.
it mouthing a couple things at one another. Brings up 2nd down and 3 after a 7-yard carry. McDaniel with an empty backfield. Now he looks to the sideline, calling an audible. Man joins him in the backfield. It's Matt Bush, lined up at the fullback position. Now he sends a receiver in motion, and the whistles blow. Timeout taken by Episcopal Academy with 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And, Jack, it looked like the Churchmen just didn't like the offensive set that they had on the field.
Yeah, there was some kind of confusion. They held up the play initially, looked at the sideline, and then decided it's just not right and called the timeout. Good call.
Jack, we came into this game thinking this might be the conference championship matchup, and this would be one of the better football games of the season in Interact play. And a quarter and a half into it, it's definitely lived up to the hype.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this game for a couple of weeks now, and as you said, lived up to the hype. It's two explosive offenses going at it so far, 14-14 midway through the second quarter. It's been fun.
The Friars scored in a blink. They took a 7-0 lead with just 50 seconds off the clock in the first quarter, but then the Churchmen scored 14 points unanswered. The Friars were able to respond with a touchdown a few moments ago, and now Episcopal Academy driving, ball near midfield, 2nd down and 3 for the Churchmen. McDaniel with 3 men in the backfield. And now he hands it off. Folk picks up the 1st down and more, diving towards the 50-yard line.
That was real nice footwork by quarterback McDaniel to fool the defense, and he did. 1st down right at midfield for the Churchmen.
Isaac White credited with the tackle, but Folk was able to get 7 yards on the play. Ball spotted at midfield. 2 men in the backfield with McDaniel. Fakes a handoff left, now hands it off to Bush. He's powering forward, still going, and now he meets a sea of white. An 8-yard gain on the play.
Friars were led by number 5,
Stephen Rose Jr., the first tackler to get there.
Stephen Rose with a big hit there. Once again, moving the ball.
5 minutes, 18 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Ball's in a 42 to 2 yards to go for the 1st down.
2nd and 2. Handoff. Bush up the middle. I think he got it with forward progression as he's taken down to the ground by Colton Deary.
It is a 1st down. Clock will stop and the sticks will move.
Down by number 39, Dale Law, but Bush earns the hard-earned 1st down for the Churchmen.
Ball now on the Malvern 39-yard line. Churchmen with another long, methodical drive, utilizing their ground attack, taking time off the clock, making this Friars defense work.
Head coach for the home team, Todd Fairley, in his 7th season.
Fake handoff by McDaniel. He keeps it. Breaks a tackle. There he goes. Up the sideline. Wow. Stiff arm and is pushed out of bounds by Stocker. A huge gain on the play.
About 25 yards. That'll be 1st and 10 for the Churchmen.
He was accelerating. McDaniel, was accelerating and shoved a hard straight arm into the helmet of D'Angelo Stocker.
15 yards on the run.
Big gainer.
Make it 1st and 10 on the Malvern 24, 4:29 remaining in the first half. McDaniel with a man in the backfield.
If McDaniel hasn't gotten any overs yet, he should be getting a few.
Handoff on 1st down. Bush up the middle. Taken down from behind by Zostic. That's a touchdown-saving tackle by Zostic. Otherwise, Bush had one-on-one to the end zone.
So far, in my opinion, Bush has been the player of the game, not followed too far behind by his teammate McDaniel.
13 yards on that carry.
Bush has been really, really impressive.
1st and 10 on the Malvern 11 for the Churchmen. Another handoff. Adams up the middle, goes nowhere.
The work by McDaniel has been very deceptive in regard to handling the ball and moving the plays downfield. He has looked really good.
Will Redden in on the play to bring the runner to the ground, make it 2nd down and 9. So there was a yard pickup on the play. McDaniel in shotgun. Fake handoff, and now he does hand it off. Some misdirection there.
Yeah, once again, a lot of deception by McDaniel there. He had me fooled. I thought he had the ball.
Then again by number 50.
Yeah, it looked like a fake handoff. Then he faked the pass, but by then he'd already handed the ball off. But Colton Deary and the Friars were not fooled. They brought the runner down for a 1-yard gain to make it 3rd down and 8.
He's very clever in those plays, and he's been coached to be that clever. He executes very well. Again, he is the quarterback that has made the most progress this year in southeastern Pennsylvania, in my opinion.
3 receivers, 2 McDaniels right, and now a timeout taken by the Churchmen. Coach Fairley wanting to make an adjustment. Second timeout taken of the half by Episcopal Academy. It's taken with 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp. And Jack, the Churchmen want to punch it in here to punctuate what has been a third long, methodical, time-wasting drive. This is the ball game they want to play. They want to take time off the clock, keep Malvern's defense working, and keep Lonnie White and that explosive offense for the Friars off the field.
And if that's part of the strategy, it certainly has worked. It's been very effective, and the defense has to be tired for the visitors. No question about that. We talked about Todd Fairley in his 7th year, won a title in 2012. Episcopal won a title 2012. Fairley is 59-30 as the head coach. On the other side, Dave Guerrera in his 3rd season was an assistant at one time here at Episcopal in Newtown Square.
Yes, he was. That's back early in his coaching days. But he's made the transition and has had a solid 3-year career thus far as the head coach of the Friars. On 3rd and 8, McDaniel fakes a handoff, has a receiver wide open, and hauling it in for the score is Brian Verbitsky.
Brian Verbitsky, pretty much all by himself. All he needed was a good pass, and he certainly received one right between his hands. He hauled it in. He was hit. It was already a touchdown.
A great play design there. They faked the handoff. Verbitsky got open in the back of the end zone, and it was one of those passes, Cap, where I'm sure Verbitsky was saying, get down already. It seemed like the ball hung up for forever.
Exactly. That's probably what was going through his mind. Tough snap.
Extra point is up and good. And the Churchmen back out to a 7-point lead. It's a 21-14 game. Friars trailing with 2 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And Jack, Episcopal Academy has been impressive early on in this game, and it's no surprise that they're 7-0 coming into tonight.
No, they're definitely showing us why they are. 21 points in this first half. They average 30-plus points per game, like 30.5 around there, and they're already at 21. 2:34 remaining in this half, so the Friars will have another opportunity. By the way, that was a very high snap and very competently handled by the holder. Put it down, spun it around on that 1-point conversion.
Pasternak will kick it off for the Churchmen. He's squibbed it on his last 2 kickoffs. Isaiah Wright and Yadir Nash back deep to receive, but we'll see if they even have a chance to get involved in on this play.
We may see another squib here. Of course, I've been wrong quite often on that.
Well, it looks to be that way as Pasternak pops it up, close sideline, and diving to keep it is Tommy Drucker. A nice effort to prevent the turnover.
Yeah, he got his hands on the ball and then went backwards and dove on it. Lucky for the Friars there.
Ball will be spotted on the Malvern 30. The Friars have 2 minutes and 31 seconds remaining in the half to go and get another score, and they have all 3 timeouts remaining, so no hurry here for the Friars.
No, they should be able to run some nice plays here, and the way this first half is going, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another score.
Well, Malvern received the opening kickoff, so getting one into the end zone or kicking a field goal towards the tail end of this half is huge for them because the Churchmen will have the ball to start the second half of action. D'Angelo Stocker in motion. Fake handoff. White keeps it. Goes up the middle. Still going and is taken down about a yard shy of the first down marker. Billy Adams in on the play with a couple teammates.
And that was all Lonnie White on that. Looked like he was going to be taken down and then picked up a couple more yards after the initial hit.
And they actually give him the first down. It looked like he was shy by a yard, but Fortuitous spot awarded to the Friars. It's a first down. Ball spotted on the 40 of Malvern. Clock moving. 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter. White in shotgun, fakes a handoff. Sets up a screen. Isaac White has it, and he is taken down near the first down marker.
They may give him the first down on that. It's very, very close. White to White on that. Nice screen, good blocking up front. Let's see where they place the ball.
Dylan D. Benedetto brought him down from behind. There's a flag on the play.
You're not sure what's happening here.
Max Strid is signaling that it's on the Friars, but no signal
Face
yet,
mask.
and it's a face mask against Malvern. Not sure if it was a face mask by one of the blockers on the screenplay. So it's a 5-yard penalty. Brings Malvern back to their own 41-yard line. And now the referees blow the whistle. It says 1st and 10 on the scoreboard. I'm pretty sure it should be second down, Jack.
Should be.
They're only awarded a first down on the face mask if it's against the defense.
Can't be first down.
I-
After the play.
Referee's saying it's 1st down and 9. Some
Clock is
confusion
rolling.
here. Clock's rolling.
Yeah, the guys in the booth here next to us, they definitely don't like it. Representing the Churchmen. The referee can't exactly hear them.
1st and 9 for Malvern. Lonnie White going to run. Rolls out right. Breaks the tackle. Up the middle.
He's got the first there.
Picks up the first down and gets into Churchman territory.
Lonnie White has very, very good footwork, and then all of a sudden, when he sees the opening, he waits for his blocking and he bursts through.
Friars burn their first timeout of the half with 1:22 remaining as the ball is spotted on the Churchman 48-yard line. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp here for the Sports Fan Base Network. Friars trying to score late in the first half and draw even as we head to the halftime break. And Jack Kapp, how important is it for the Friars to get some points on the board knowing that the Churchmen will receive the kickoff to start the second half?
It's very important. And that's, I'm sure, going through their minds. They have 1:22 left in this first half to do so. They are moving the ball fairly well, and we're going to have a 1st and 10 on the 48 of the Churchmen.
2 timeouts remaining in the half for the Friars. And for Episcopal Academy, I'm sure they'd love to come up with a stop and get some more points on the board before the half runs out, but they only have 1 timeout remaining.
And here we go.
Out of the timeout, White starts with an empty backfield. 2 receivers to his right and left and a tight end on the left side of the line. Now Isaiah Wright comes into the backfield. It's a fake handoff and a screen pass. Isaac White has space. Down the sideline, makes a move, and still going, taken down just shy of the 10-yard line. Brought down by Dylan D. Benedetto.
We can't say it enough, but 2 highly impressive offenses here tonight
Flag
at Smith Field.
Flag on the field. It's going to be what looks like a roughing the passer to add on to it. No signal yet. If it is roughing the passer, it'll be half the distance to the goal.
As we see quite often in football, the referees have a conference. The officials have a little meeting there, and here comes Mr. McKeever. Personal foul, roughing the passer against the defense. That will tack on half the distance to the goal. That ball will be placed on the 6, I believe.
Isaac White was able to get it to the 12-yard line of the Churchmen. And as you mentioned, the penalty, half the distance to the goal.
Yeah.
It'll be 1st and goal for the Friars. Ball on the Churchmen 6. Malvern with 2 timeouts remaining and 1:13 to go in the half. Plenty of time to draw up a couple plays to get into the end zone. Episcopal Academy's crowd getting into it. Want to stop here. White lobs it to the corner. Isaac White has it for the score.
It is a score way, way deep on the far side of the field, and he kept his feet in bounds. Another great toss by Lonnie White. Both of these quarterbacks have been highly impressive in this game. This is a lot of fun.
Back-to-back weeks that we have seen.
Wow.
Offensive shootouts here on the Sports Fan Base Network.
Well, we called it at the beginning. We were saying,
I'll give you credit,
I'll
Jack
take
Kapp.
credit.
You said it. You said this was going to be a shootout yet again.
I had a feeling it was going to be a high-scoring affair, and it is. Should be. Let's see what happens here. It's going to, yep.
Extra point is up and
No good.
No good. Monteith wide right.
Ooh.
So EA holds on to a 1-point lead. It's a 21-20 game with 1 minute and 8 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp. And Kapp, I know there's a lot of scoring going on, but that could prove to be costly down the stretch in a close contested game.
We'll have to see how this goes along in the second half, and with 1:08 remaining in this first half also, we don't want to discount that. However, that 1 point may be a factor. From here it looked good, but it must have gone to the right of the crossbar there.
It will certainly make things interesting in the second half.
To the right of the upright, I should say. And we have 1:08 remaining. We're going to see a kickoff and another opportunity for the home team, Episcopal Academy Churchmen.
Now, the Churchmen have kept it on the ground for most of this evening, Jack Kapp. So
yes.
I don't expect them to try to do anything crazy here at the end of the half, but I wouldn't be surprised if they run a play or two on the ground, try to pick up some big yardage, and go from there.
That might be the case here. Let's see where this kick goes. I have a feeling they're going to kick deep.
Jake Reed to send it away, left to right on your screen.
He's got a big boot.
Chavis back to receive.
Yep, there it goes. Right at the goal line.
And the kick is actually fielded by Malcolm Folk. He comes to the close sideline and is taken down across his own 20 by Kellen Mathias.
That's the probably the third or fourth nice tackle by Kellen Mathias. His execution on tackles and mechanics have been right on the mark.
Mathias has been a key player to the Malvern defense throughout his career in the Navy Blue. A junior who plays both ways as a linebacker and a wide receiver. 1st and 10 for the Churchmen, ball on their own 23. They come out with 4 receivers for McDaniel, 2 on each side of the line. And he looks to throw. Fires, and it's incomplete. A miscommunication between him and his running back, Malcolm Folk.
Yeah, that ball was thrown down at the ground a little bit, too.
Folk broke to the sideline, and McDaniel threw it over the middle. And I think as McDaniel recognized that they weren't on the same page, he wisely threw it at the feet of Folk, not to keep it high and allow for a defender to potentially pick it off there.
Right. And the clock stops on that, so it's 59 seconds remaining in this first half.
Well, it is interesting, Jack, because the Friars have 2 timeouts remaining, so with another incomplete pass, they could potentially get the ball back and score late in this half. McDaniel keeps it, goes up the middle, gets a few. Zostic in on that play. Malvern calling a timeout with 51 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So the Friars trying to get the ball back one more time, Jack, and take a lead into halftime.
It's always a possibility here, the way this thing has gone. 1 point lead for the Churchmen, 51 seconds remaining. 3rd and 10, and the ball's on the 23.
Well, it'll actually be 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5.
After the 5-yard pickup. The
That's
scoreboard still flashes 3rd and 10.
3rd and 5, right. That's correct. Ball on the 28.
Man, this has been a fun one, Jack. This has lived up to everything we expected thus far, and we still have a half of football to go. 41 points scored in one half. It's going to be interesting. Perhaps these two teams can outscore Penn Charter and Malvern from last week. I didn't think that was possible.
94.
Back-to-back weeks.
94 points last week.
That's the number to shoot for, 94.
Jeez.
3rd down and 5 for the Churchmen out of the timeout. McDaniel looks to the sideline, calling an audible at the line of scrimmage. He has 3 receivers to his left. Drops back to throw. Swings it out short and taken down shy of the line of scrimmage for now. It's going to depend on the spot, is Matt Bush.
Clock is stopped.
Big tackle by Jake Brownlee to bring Bush down shy of the yard to gain. And now a timeout by the Friars, their final timeout of the half. They take it with 44 seconds remaining. And Malvern with one final chance here to put points on the board before we take a break.
44 seconds left in that timeout now, discussing strategy.
Friars put 28 points on the board in the opening half of last week at home against Penn Charter. This is an eerily similar game to what we saw in that matchup. For now, Episcopal Academy has their offense on the field, so this is interesting. It's 4th down and inches. And I think the Churchmen are just trying to draw the Friars offside. They have one timeout remaining. Lonnie White Jr. back deep, and referees blow their whistles as the Churchmen unable to draw the Friars offside. Malvern wisely able to keep their defenders from encroaching the line of scrimmage. And the Churchmen have to burn their final timeout of the half. They'll send it deep now on the ensuing play with 44 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Malvern will have one final opportunity to add points to the scoreboard. It's been a back-and-forth affair tonight. Malvern scored on their opening drive to take a 7-0 lead. Then the Churchmen scored on back-to-back possessions to take a 14-7 lead early on in the second quarter. The Friars responded with a touchdown of their own, and it's been back and forth ever since.
Number 10, Lonnie White.
Lonnie White Jr. back to receive this punt. It'll be Jake Jazz to send it away. High kick. White fumbles it. Ball's loose. He picks it up and falls down at the Malvern 43. Tragedy avoided by Lonnie White Jr. as he was unable to corral the football on the punt. And now the referee pushes the ball back by about a yard. Malvern will start this drive with the ball on their own 42. 36 ticks of the clock remaining in the first half of play. No timeouts remaining for the Friars. Lonnie White Jr. comes out with 4 receivers, 2 to his left, 2 to his right. Isaiah Wright in the backfield on his right side. Lonnie White Jr. in shotgun on 1st and 10. Fakes the screen pass. Now he rolls out left. Looks to run. Hit, loses the football, catches it, and now throws it forward and a penalty flag flies. He completed the pass downfield to Isaac White, but it was the second time he threw the ball on the possession. As the first pass was stripped, came out of his hands, it fell back into his own hands. He completed a pass to himself, but then threw the ball deep, and that drew the penalty.
Here's it. It's going to be against the Friars.
I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever seen that before. An illegal forward pass. It was the second forward pass of the play. And now the referee's explaining the penalty.
And it's also a loss of down.
So it's a spot foul and a loss of down. Makes it 2nd down and 20 for Malvern. The ball will be placed on their own 32-yard line.
I think it was 5 yards. 5 yards from the spot. 5 yards from the spot.
It's a 5-yard loss from the spot of the foul. 2nd and 20 for the Friars. Lonnie White Jr. rolling out right. He fakes. Now throws it deep to Ryan McGuire. He has it. And he's taken down at the Churchmen 28-yard line. Tackle made by Jake Fent. McGuire out of bounds, so that will stop the clock. A great play by Lonnie White Jr. to throw that one deep down the sideline, and Ryan McGuire with a huge catch.
Make it first down for the Friars from the Churchmen 26-yard line.
Clock is stopped. 17 seconds remaining in the second quarter. White looking left.
Oh, he's in
Ball's
trouble.
loose. Ball's loose. It was stripped as White looked to throw, and now he falls on it in the backfield. A huge loss on the play as he's sacked by Dom Minicozy, and that is going to take us to halftime.
Lonnie White in a little trouble there. He's complaining about something. I'm not sure what.
Well, it's a 21-20 lead for the Churchmen as we head to half. Jack Kapp, your final thoughts on a wild opening
wild first half. It was a lot of fun to watch from this booth, and we'll see what happens in the second half. But both quarterbacks, very, very impressive.
Well, we're going to take a break, but don't go anywhere. Jack and I will recap the first half when we come back from break. You're watching Malvern Prep Football here on the Sports Fan Base Network. Welcome back into Newbold Smith, class of 1944 field. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp here for the Sports Fan Base Network, and we are moments away from second half action. It's a 21-20 lead for the Episcopal Academy Churchmen over the Malvern Prep Friars. And Jack, that first half had everything we expected and more from both teams.
It was electric and exciting and very high scoring, to say the least. It seems like we've been here for a whole game, but it's only half a game. 21-20, Churchmen in charge, and they'll receive to begin the third quarter.
Malvern scored a touchdown late in the second quarter to draw it even in touchdowns, but they missed the extra point, Jack Kapp, so they trailed by one, and that could prove to be costly down the stretch in what has been a back-and-forth contest in the first 24 minutes of play.
Well, we'll see how that comes into play as this game moves along.
I'd like to take this time to remind you today's game is brought to you in part by Eric McGee. Thinking of buying or selling a home? Call your favorite realtor and Malvern Prep Dad Eric McGee at 610-310-6022. The Friars will send it away left to right on your screen, dressed in their road white. Reed will send it away. The Churchmen, dressed in their home navy, will receive, traveling right to left on your screen. Line drive kick goes into the end zone for a touchback. Malcolm Folk just stares at it as it skips across the navy blue turf. And the Churchmen will start the opening drive of the second half with possession of the football on their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, that kick traveled quite a distance, but it was a line drive, as you said. Went into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20 on the touchback.
So it'll be the first look for the second half for us to see the Churchmen's offense, which in that first half, Jack Kapp, they took a lot of time off the clock when they had the ball, were very productive when they went to the ground, and had three running backs produce for yardage. Billy Adams on the opening carry of the half. Short gain on the play.
He definitely met a lot of Friars on that play.
2-yard gain on the carry. Makes it 2nd down and 8. And you know this has been a fast-moving game, Jack Kapp, because we've already handed out our Stoll Agency play of the game and our All-American Sporting Goods hard hit of the game. McDaniel on 2nd down, taken down in the open field by Cade Zostic.
Zostic once again involved in the play. We've called his number a bunch of times also. Real nice tackle there. Should be a 3rd and looks like maybe 2. 3rd and 2.
It is 3rd and 2. 6-yard gain on the carry by McDaniel. 10:54 remaining in the third quarter. The Churchmen with a 1-point lead. McDaniel fakes a handoff. He keeps it, goes up the middle, and I think he got it.
He just got in there. It'll move the chains. Another 1st and 10 for the home team. McDaniel playing very well early on in this second half.
The Churchmen needed 2. They got 3. Ball spotted on the Episcopal Academy 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Churchmen. 3 receivers to McDaniel's right. Now he hands it off. Adams goes up the middle. And a short gain on the play taken down by Redden.
Brought down by number 71, William Redden.
Episcopal Academy goes back hundreds of years, different locations in different forms, but I believe it was founded in the late 1700s. It's like incredible. And
right around when you were born, right, Jack?
I was just a toddler at the time.
Handoff on 2nd and 8. Folk goes nowhere. Might have lost a yard. Isaac White got into the backfield for the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
No gain. 3rd and
Yeah, no gain on that. Wearing the gold-tipped shoes, I believe. didn't help much on that play.
Yeah, good spot. Malcolm Folk, he's definitely styling out there with his cleats.
A couple of the guys have that, yep.
McDaniel looking to the sideline. The Churchmen changing the play. McDaniel calling out the audible.
Big play here early on.
He has Bush and Adams in the backfield with him. Takes the snap, fires over the middle. It's complete to Folk. Spin move, breaks a tackle, and it's going to depend on the spot. It's close, and they give it to him.
And let me tell you, that was a hard tackle by Stephen Rose Jr. Plays both ways, D-back and running back. He laid it on the receiver there.
I'll tell you what, Folk initially, though, was able to spin out of that hard hit.
Spun out of it, but then
impressive move.
He took a hard hit there.
First down and 10 for the Churchmen. Ball on their own 42. 8 minutes and 46 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp for the Sports Fan Base Network. A 21-20 lead for the Churchmen. It's a handoff to Adams, and he gets a couple on the first down carry. Taken down by Colton Deary.
And Colton Deary on the tackle. Adams swing to his left. Just picked up maybe 2 to 3 yards on that. Maybe not even that much.
Churchmen sticking with their ground attack. It's been the pillar of their offense here tonight. 2-yard gain on that carry. It'll be 2nd and 8 for Episcopal Academy. Motion in the backfield. It's a handoff to Folk. He powers forward and gains 7 yards, taken down a yard shy of the first down marker.
Yeah, he was hit on the back at the end of that to deny him that first down, but a nice run and a nicely executed play once again by the Churchmen.
Backrath brought him to the ground for the Friars. It sets up 3rd down and 1. The Churchmen have already picked up 2 third down conversions on this drive. They've already managed to take nearly 5 minutes off the clock in the opening drive of the second half. And now a whistle and a timeout taken by the Churchmen with 7 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in a fast-moving third quarter. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp here for the Sports Fan Base Network. And Jack, this is exactly the type of game Episcopal wants to play. Move the ball slowly with their ground attack, take precious time off the clock, and keep the Malvern Prep defense on the field, keep Lonnie White and his offense cemented in the sideline.
Yeah, and that timeout was interesting because there was some confusion and it was a forced timeout, but we'll see if that comes into play later in this game. See if they need it down the stretch.
Could be a scenario where the Churchmen want to burn a timeout late and don't have it. This has been a back and forth affair. Neither team has been able to get a lot of breathing room in this game. Largest lead has been 14 points. Excuse me, 7 points.
7.
Yeah.
Yep.
7-point lead for both these teams here tonight. So nobody has had a 2-possession lead in this game thus far.
That's right. It was 7-0, then 14-7. The other way now it's 21-20. Churchmen knocking on the door once again here for a first down.
McDaniel keeps it on 3rd and 1, has the first down and plenty more.
Nice run.
Taken down in the open field by Jake Brownlee.
Jake Brownlee with the chest tackle there, but a lot of yardage on that pickup. And the ball residing on the 40 with another 1st and 10.
It's a gain of 11. It's the third down conversion on the drive for Episcopal Academy. They've managed to take off over 5 minutes from the clock here in the third quarter. Now a fake handoff. McDaniel keeps it, and he's met by a trio of tacklers. Isaac White leading the effort for Malvern.
Cade Zostic also in on that play.
McDaniel's slow to get back to his feet, a little bit banged up after the hit. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
He's hit by a trio of tacklers on that play. Looks like they're going to move the ball up a yard.
So they do give him a yard gain on the effort.
Clock is running as we break into the second portion of this third quarter.
Episcopal Academy has had the ball for the entire second quarter, all 6 minutes and 10 seconds. McDaniel fires on 2nd and 9, completes it to Adams, but he goes nowhere, taken down in the open field by Brownlee.
Brownlee was not fooled once again on the tackle. No gain. It'll be a 3rd and 9, and the ball is placed on the 39.
This drive started back on the Episcopal Academy 20. And they have managed to take off nearly 7 minutes of time here in the third quarter.
And once again, wearing down the defense of the visiting Friars with time of possession.
On 3rd and 9, McDaniel fires his pass, incomplete. Hard hit late by Isaac White as he puts the hit on Matt Bush, who couldn't bring in the catch.
Couldn't bring it in. And that ball could have been intercepted. That was a dangerous play right there. Isaac White with the hard hit.
So for now, the Churchmen leave their offense on the field.
Yeah,
4th and 9. Shotgun set for McDaniel. And perhaps they're just trying to draw the Friars offside. Clock is stopped with exactly 5 minutes remaining. And McDaniel with a punt. A high booming kick. And that is a wise call by the Churchmen. Coach Todd Fairley very pleased with that effort by McDaniel, who lined up in the shotgun, made it look like he was going to take the snap to pass, but then he took a couple steps back and punted it. A trick play. We saw Randall Cunningham do that with the Eagles back in the day.
Way back. Yeah, that's right. That's a quick kick, the old quick kick there.
And now an advantageous spot for the Churchman defense. Malvern will start this drive on their own 8-yard line.
Yeah, but that was a nicely placed punt. Really pushing Malvern back into their own territory.
So Episcopal Academy took 7 minutes and 9 seconds off the clock.
That's right.
Before surrendering possession of the football to the Friars. It's Malvern's first look on offense here in the third quarter. Tinson in motion. White going to fire deep, close sideline, and he overshoots Ryan McGuire by about 10 yards.
Yeah, Ryan McGuire never caught up to that ball, and it was overthrown. Had a lot of gusto on it, but it just was not in the right place.
That was thrown off Lonnie White Jr.'s back foot, and he still managed to overfire McGuire.
Very impressive arm, however, not placed correctly. Interesting play on first down there.
3 receivers to Lonnie White Jr.'s right. 2nd down and 10. Lonnie looks to the Malvern sideline, and now he barks out signals, calling an audible. Isaiah Wright in the backfield to his right side. He gets the handoff, goes up the far sideline, and is pushed out of bounds, but not before he picks up a first down and more. Marcus McDaniel with the hit. Playing both ways.
How about that? Yeah, Marcus McDaniel stepping in, making that hit on defense. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the visiting Friars here. Lonnie White in the shotgun.
12 yards on the carry by Wright on that previous play. 1st and 10 for Malvern, ball on their own 20. Lonnie White Jr. with 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Hands it off to Wright again. A flag flies as Wright picks up a couple yards. We'll have to see what the penalty is for.
I thought I might have seen a chop block or possibly, let's see what they come out with. Holding.
And it is holding against the Friars. This will push Malvern back 10 yards. So it'll be 1st down and 20. Ball on the Malvern 10.
It is against the Friars. It's a 10-yard variety. They will have the ball 1st and 20 on their own 9.5-yard line.
Lonnie White Jr. with an empty backfield. Now Wright comes to join him on motion. Lonnie White looking to run. Now he fires, and it's incomplete through a dart down the far sideline for Ryan McGuire, but too much heat behind that pass.
I don't think he really got his feet set on that. He does have a wicked arm and was able to fire it, but he was going hard to his left on that and just didn't quite get it to the right place.
2nd down and 10 for the Friars. Malvern in the shadow of their own goalposts. An empty backfield again for Lonnie White. Isaiah Wright again comes in motion. White fakes a handoff to him, runs up the middle, breaks a couple tackles. Still going, breaks another tackle, and is finally brought down by a sea of navy blue at the Malvern 15. And that is one of the most difficult 5-yard runs I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, and he took a slew of hits at the end there and just jumped right up. He's a very tough kid, a very, very fine athlete. Lonnie White Jr.
3:52 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp for the Sports Fan Base Network. Lonnie White Jr. with 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right.
Big play here for both sides.
3rd and 15. White fires. Deep far sideline, incomplete. He overthrew Tinson, defended by 2. Good coverage by Aiden Chavis on the play, and the Friars will have to punt.
45 yards in the air and thrown across the field. He certainly does have a strong arm. He just overthrew his receiver once again.
On the front for the Friars, number 7, Ronan Swope.
So after a drive by the Churchmen that took 7 minutes and 9 seconds off the clock, the Friars struggle to possess the ball for a minute and a half, and they'll have to send it away just in front of their own goal line. Swope on to punt. Chavis back to receive for Episcopal Academy. High booming kick by Swope. It travels over the head of Chavis, takes a bounce, and it will be down on the Malvern 42-yard line. Excuse me, the Churchmen 42-yard line. A great punt by Swope.
I was going to say, just before he punted it, the Friars need a big punt on that, and they certainly got it. It went about 55, 60 yards in the air.
So the Malvern prep defense marches back onto the field, and Cap, they've got to be tired as Episcopal Academy has managed to keep the ball on the ground and maintain possession, I would say, for 2/3 of this game. The ball's been in the hands of the Churchmen.
Yeah, we don't have the exact stat on that, but it does seem like about 2/3. You're correct.
Second drive of the half for Episcopal Academy. Their first drive was stalled at the Malvern 39. Fake handoff. McDaniel goes up the middle and gets a solid gain on 1st down, taken down from behind by Isaac White. Cade Zostic in on the play as well.
It's all in the execution on these plays. They certainly are drilled well, and everybody moves at the right time, and he picks up 7 yards. McDaniel, that is. Nicely done.
Gain of 7. It's 2nd down and 3 on the play. McDaniel in a shotgun set. He rolls left, going to take it himself, picks up the 1st down and more. Tackled in the open field by Jake Brownlee, but not before he picks up another 1st down.
Working as a very smooth team. The Churchmen are, especially on those last 2 plays, blocking out in front, and McDaniel picks up the 1st very easily. 2:30 remaining in this 3rd quarter. Score has not changed since halftime, 21-20. Home team, Churchmen.
Fast-moving 3rd quarter of play. McDaniel in shotgun. Fakes a handoff. He rolls outright, looking to fire it. Throws deep into double coverage, and the pass falls incomplete, intended for Will Kelly. Great coverage by Cayman Hayes on the play.
Cayman Hayes, and he got a little help down there also, and pass was not completed.
And it takes a lot of courage to challenge Cayman Hayes, Jack Kapp.
Yes, it does.
Pass intended for Will Kelly. McDaniel going deep down the field, but Hayes is a man who has come away with a lot of interceptions in his career with the Friars.
Especially last year. He was very, very good last year.
7 picks last season
That's
to
right.
lead Malvern, 3 on this season.
That's a lot of interceptions.
2nd and 10, it's a handoff. Folk up the close sideline and is shoved out of bounds by Kellen Mathias. Might have saved a touchdown or a big gain because of that shove by Kellen in the secondary.
So once again, Kellen Mathias in on the play for the Friars. Moving the ball downfield. It's a 3rd and 2, and it's on the 37 for the Churchmen.
Clock is stopped with 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the third quarter. McDaniel's going to keep it. Runs to the left, and a flag is out. McDaniel picked it up, but the flag is for holding, so that will negate the first down.
And that was nicely played by Jake Brownlee. Jake Brownlee forced McDaniel to the ground. There's a hold, and it's going to come back 10 yards, replay.
So it takes a first down away from the Churchmen. They're pushed back to the Malvern 47. They have to get it to the Malvern 35. And that changes up the play call because now they have to likely go through the air here to pick up the first down. 3 receivers to McDaniel's right, 1 to his left. McDaniel will roll out right. Has time, fires back across to his left. It's complete. Kelly breaks a tackle, and he picks up the first down. A great play design as McDaniel rolled out right, fired back across to the left, and Will Kelly gets enough for the first down pickup.
That was a very strong throw by quarterback McDaniel, and nice work on the other end to pick up those yards after catch by Will Kelly on the near sideline here. Another first down for Episcopal Academy. Ball on the 34.
Clock is stopped with 1:48 remaining in the third. A scoreless quarter after a first half of nonstop offense from both teams. It's a handoff on first down. A flag flies. Adams goes nowhere on the carry. Taken down by Cade Zostic.
I believe it's an illegal shift.
And that is the call.
And that's what we got.
On the play, so that will move the Churchmen back 5 yards and negate the first down play.
I thought I saw something funky going on in the backfield there, and they're going to lose 5 yards on that.
Discipline, white, blue, let's go.
It'll make it first down and 15 for Episcopal Academy. 1:43 remaining in the third. The Churchmen have had the ball for all but 1:30 here in the third quarter.
They have dominated ball possession.
Daniel keeps it, fighting for every bit of yardage he can manage, and gets back to what looks to be about a yard shy of the original line of scrimmage.
Exactly, that's where he is. Nice effort on his part. Is he okay?
It's going to make it a 2nd and 11.
Looks to be banged up
He's
on the
okay
play,
there.
but he wants to stay in. 2nd down and 11 for the Churchmen after a 4-yard carry by McDaniel.
Both of these quarterbacks have taken hard hits and gang tackles, and both have come up looking good and not injured.
McDaniel fakes a run, fires to the far sideline. It's complete to Folk, and he is taken down just shy of the first down marker by Cayman Hayes.
Another nicely executed play by Episcopal Academy on that, and they have a 3rd and it looks like 1, maybe 1.5.
That's going to bring up a 3rd and short 3.
So a 10-yard gain through the air on the completion from McDaniel to Folk. Clock's running, 17 seconds remaining in the third, and the Churchmen might just let the clock run out and take this to the fourth quarter. For now, it looks like they're going to run a play. They do. Fake handoff right. McDaniel keeps it.
He's short.
It's going to depend on the spot, but initially looks to be short.
That is the end of the third quarter.
End of the third. No signal yet as to whether or not McDaniel picked up the first down. We'll get to that to you when we come back with fourth quarter action here on the Sports Fan Base Network. It is a Interact grudge match, a 1-point game. Episcopal Academy with possession of the football as we open the fourth quarter of play. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp, and after a high-scoring first half, it was a scoreless third quarter for both teams.
Yeah, and I think we're witnessing here the two best teams in the Interact, at least in my opinion. Both undefeated in league play, and Episcopal Academy undefeated for the season. Big play here, 4th and 1, less than 1.
EA ran a play before the third quarter ended. They came up about a half yard shy of the first down marker. 4th down and 1. McDaniel keeps it, goes up the middle, and he has the first down and more. Great play design, and the Churchmen pick up another key first down.
Yeah, and that was a big opening there, big gap. McDaniel went right through it, easy first down. Another set of downs for the Churchmen. 1st and 10 at about the 22.
Episcopal Academy's ground attack has been dominant throughout this game. And, Cap, we were talking about it during the break.
Yeah.
The Churchmen have possessed the ball for over 65% of the game unofficially as McDaniels keeps it, runs out to the right, and picks up a decent gain on first down. Their ability to keep the ball on the ground and churn the clock has got to be frustrating for a Malvern Prep defense that has spent most of their time tonight exhausted on the football field.
Yeah, they're really having it taken to them, and McDaniel with a nice little pickup there, got hit and picked up another yard or two on that. He's looking for the play from the sideline. Under 11 minutes left in this game. The score remains just a 1-point game.
And we really haven't seen much of Malvern and Lonnie White this afternoon. Malvern's offense, because they've been sidelined due to the Churchmen's ability to consistently pick up yardage on the ground. And that handoff now on a jet sweep. And a decent gain of 5 for a first down by Malcolm Folk.
Folk with a nice pickup on that sweep. Had a lot of blocking in front of him. And once again, a first down. The Churchmen are wearing down the visiting Friars here.
Ball is spotted on the Malvern 11. Clock is moving, 10 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the fourth. It's a 1-point lead for Episcopal Academy. McDaniel keeps it and is taken down in the backfield. Dale Law in on the play.
Nice tackle. Tackle for about a yard loss. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 11 for the Churchmen.
Loss of 1 on the hit brings up 2nd down and 11. Big spot here for the Friars defense. They need to come up with a stop. EA content with letting the clock move for now. McDaniel fakes a handoff, goes to the end zone, and he has another score. Matt Bush with the touchdown.
And Matt Bush once again on the receiving end of a beautifully executed pass by quarterback McDaniel. the Churchmen jump out to a 7-point lead and may be able to extend it a little further here, as they probably will go for the 1, but we shall see. No, they're going to go for the 2.
Last week, they scored a touchdown with 22 seconds remaining. They were down 34-33. They went for 2 and won because of it. Coach Todd Fairley likes to be aggressive. Bold call here.
This is an interesting call.
If they get it, it's a 2-score game. McDaniel to his left. Dives, and he is in.
He's done it again.
For the second straight week, Marcus McDaniel dives into the end zone to convert a key 2-point conversion.
He can run, he can pass, and he can execute an offense brilliantly. He is the surprise quarterback of Southeastern Pennsylvania, hands down.
Jack, we said it back in the second quarter, that missed extra point by the Friars could prove to be costly, and it comes back to haunt them here in the fourth, because that 2-point conversion makes what was just a 1-score game a 2-score affair.
Yep. Yeah, 29-20. The Friars will have to score here in some way to get back into this game, either a field goal or a touchdown. Even if they went for the 2-point conversion on a touchdown, they'd be 1 point back. Here's the kickoff.
9 minutes, 32 seconds remaining in the fourth. It's a 29-20 lead for the Episcopal Academy Churchmen. They'll send it off left to right on your screen, and now a flag flies on the kickoff.
Very soft kickoff. Not sure what the flag is for.
Looks like it's in the area of offsides for the kick.
Somebody jumped the gun there.
So this will be a 10-yard penalty. Pasternak will, it's only a 5-yard.
It's a 5, yeah.
So Pasternak will re-tee it up on his own 35.
Actually goes down as a illegal procedure, I guess is what it would actually be called.
Isaiah Wright back to receive the kick alongside Mulqueen.
They don't want to give it to Isaiah. And they probably will not.
9:32 remaining in the fourth. Malvern trails by 2 scores.
Oh, they do.
Long kick, and it's received by Mulqueen. Fields it at his own 12. Has space up the middle. Nice gain by Mulqueen. A flag is down, it looks like.
They did go deep with the kick there. That was surprising to me.
Ball is on the Malvern 37 for now, but we'll see what the penalty's for.
Could be a block in the back.
Early indications maybe a block in the back by the Friars.
Yep, blocked in the back by Malvern Prep, and that's going to take him back.
Good part of that run.
So it depends on where the penalty occurred.
That's correct.
Referee's discussing where to replace the football. So they say the penalty occurred at around the Malvern 27, so the ball will be spotted on Malvern's 17.
It's got to be hard for the official to know exactly where that occurred, but they do it. 9:24 remaining in this contest, with the Churchmen out in front by 9.
Malvern trails by 2 scores. 9 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp, and the Interac Conference Championship might be in the balance here for the Friars. White going deep on first down, intended for Stocker, hit hard, and that is going to draw 3 different penalty flags downfield. No doubt about it. Nick Bates looked like he was upset with himself on the play, Jack Kapp.
The catch was about to be made. It was clearly pass interference. I mean, we could have called that from up here. We could have thrown the flag.
And I think the defensive back Bates was upset with himself, because you say the catch was about to be made, but that's a tough catch to make. It was a deep ball. There was a safety coming in to make a hit. I don't know if Stocker comes down with that one, but the penalty by Bates helps out the receiver downfield.
Now, there's a discussion going on here. Let's see. It's a 15-yard penalty. High school football is a little different on that pass interference. It's a 15-yard penalty. I've always thought that should be in the NFL too. 15-yard penalty as opposed to the spot.
Well, it's interesting. Now you have, in the NFL, you have instant replay because you could get so many yards on those pass interference calls. That's why I'm a fan of the instant replay for those in the NFL.
Yeah, look, it's come to the point where the quality is so good on those replays.
Lonnie White on 1st and 10 after the penalty. Spikes one into the ground, intended for Tinson. White just didn't get his feet underneath him on that throw.
No, and he'll get a 2nd and 10 with a stopped clock on that.
Good coverage on that play by the Churchmen. White and the Friars offense haven't had a lot of time to get things going here tonight. Their defense has been on the field for most of this battle as the Churchmen have dominated on the ground and possessed the ball for most of the game. Lonnie White fakes 2 handoffs, tries to run with it. A flag flies. He's taken down hard.
Holding. And he's lucky. Lonnie White's lucky he got anything on that. He could have been smashed. They're going to suffer another penalty. It's going to take him back 10 yards. The Friars, that is.
So the refs will walk this one back. Some discussion right now with the
holding.
Episcopal Academy sideline, but now we see the holding call.
Declines.
And an interesting call there. The Churchmen decided to decline it and make it a 3rd down and about 11.
That is an interesting call, but I think it's the right call here to decline that penalty.
At this point, are downs more important than yards defensively, Jack Kapp?
Yeah, maybe, and then we'll see what happens, what the result of that declination will be here.
Huge play for the Friars. 8:56 remaining in the 4th. Lonnie White Jr. with an empty backfield. 3rd and 10. Screen pass. Incomplete. It was intended for Isaac White, but the pass was too far ahead of him. And the Friars slow to the sideline. They'll have to punt here.
They will. The punting unit is on the field. That pass not well thrown. And the Churchmen will get the ball back with 8:49 left and a 9-point lead. And they may grind it out again, Chris.
Malvern Prep in danger of its first Interact Conference loss in the Coach Guerrera era. The Friars were 12-0 in conference games under Coach Guerrera coming into tonight.
He lost it.
It's fumbled. Ball on the ground. No signal where possession is yet.
I believe that the Friars have the ball. Maybe not. No indication yet.
No signal.
We need a signal.
Chavez fumbled the punt, was unable to bring it in on the fair catch.
Whose ball is it? We don't know yet. There's a lot of noise in the stadium here. Nobody really knows whose ball it is. Clearly a fumble on the fair catch, though. Is it a muff or a fumble? That's a muff.
That would be a muff.
That's a muff.
A lot of discussion still.
What is happening here?
There was an inadvertent whistle on the play.
And there was an inadvertent whistle on the play, Jack. So it'll be a re-kick for the Friars.
Goodness. An inadvertent whistle? Why would that have occurred?
And I'm getting word from our producer, Jack, that I think he's spotting a fan in the stands who has a whistle. And I'll tell you what, if that's the case,
that's not right.
Something's got to be done about that. That's the last thing you need in a game of this magnitude.
And I'll tell you something else that I've noticed. There's a drone, I guess you call it, that's been flying around over the heads of the players and with lights blinking, and it's being operated by a young player on the Churchmen. I believe he's got the controls.
Well, perhaps that's approved.
I guess it is. I don't know. I just
listen,
don't like that.
In this day and age, I don't even know what's going on anymore with drones flying around.
I don't get that.
I noticed it. I didn't say anything about it, but I noticed it for sure.
I don't think it's affecting anything, but I guess it's legal. That's a great punt.
High punt by Swope,
It's going to fall.
and it's going to be down.
Yeah, that'll be down at the 26.
Yeah, it was punted off the foot of
Yard line of
Brendan
the
Flynn, who hustled down the field to make a play on it, but it'll be marked closer to the 25-yard line of the Churchmen.
Good kick.
8 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, a 29-20 lead for Episcopal Academy. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp. And, Jack, this game has, in the last couple of moments, seemed to swung into the favor of Episcopal Academy.
Yeah, no question. And they need to grind it out here once again. If they can get a couple first downs, this game is probably close to over, short of some type of turnover.
1st and 10 for the Churchmen, ball on their own 26. Adams on the carry, goes to the edge and gets a decent gain as he breaks the tackle and goes out of bounds across his own 31-yard line.
These are two quality football teams going at it for the undefeated position in this ancient Interac league. A 29-20 margin right now for the hometown Newtown Square Episcopal Academy Churchmen.
The Friars currently have a 16-game winning streak in the Interac, but it's on the line late as McDaniel on 2nd and 5 picks up a short gain on the carry.
Had some nice blocking, but was taken down with an ankle tackle, and now having a little trouble getting up is McDaniel. They're going to stop the game.
And now an injury timeout. This will be to help McDaniel on the field. So we're going to take a quick audio break. Don't go anywhere. It's fourth quarter action here on the Sports Fan Base Network. Making his way to the sideline under his own power a few moments ago was Marcus McDaniel. A good sign for the Churchmen, but he has to take the play off, so Jake Fant takes the snap on 3rd down and 3. He hands it off, and Matt Bush fights for a huge first down, which keeps the clock moving.
Once again, Matt Bush, player of the game, in my opinion. Very, very tough running. Every time he touches the ball, another first down.
And now Jake Fant, after one play, comes to the sideline.
It was a cramp.
Checks in.
A cramp of some sort in his calf.
Clock moving, 7:47 remaining. But as you're mentioning, Jack Kapp, a good sign to see McDaniel back on the field.
Yeah, I'm glad to see him back there. He's a fun athlete to watch. Handoff.
Folk going to his right. A flag flies in the area of holding. Decent gain on the play, but it looks like this one's coming back.
Early indication is holding against the Churchmen. Number
it is.
Dale Law made the stop.
Dale Law with the tackle. They'll go back 10 yards. And this will be a 2nd and 20. First and 20.
First and about 19 for the Churchmen.
First and 19, first and 20.
29-yard line.
Yep.
So a loss of 10 because of the penalty. 7:33 remaining in the fourth. And Malvern needs to force a punt and preserve as much time on the clock as possible because they trail by 2 scores here. McDaniel in a shotgun set. Sends a man in motion in the backfield, fakes the run. Now he goes to run and picks up maybe a yard, taken down from behind by Nicholson.
Made that little step back move again, but didn't see what he liked. And went for the run and was taken down almost immediately. Picked up a couple, but.
Gain of about 2 on the play. Make it second down and 18.
He only gets in a third down.
McDaniel taking his time, letting the clock tick. Now he fakes a handoff, goes up the middle, and gets nowhere.
Yeah, they were not fooled on that one.
Dale Law in on the tackle.
And Colton Deary also, number 51, had a hand in that stop. This will be third and long, I believe.
Clock moving, 6:13 remaining in the fourth.
Yep, third and about 17.
Friars need to force a punt here. Four receivers for McDaniel, 3 to his left, 1 to his right. Takes the snap, has plenty of time, rolls out left. He's going to run, and he's taken down about 3 or 4 yards shy of the first down marker. Tackle on the play was made by Jake Brownlee.
Yeah, and a real nice effort there by McDaniel, just not able to get to that first down marker. This will clearly be a punting situation and another opportunity for the Friars.
And a key to that play, Jack, is that Brownlee was able to force McDaniel out of bounds.
Yes,
so the clock is stopped with 5:40 remaining. And that's an area where McDaniel, if you know you're not going to pick up the first down, as great a game as you played, you got to slide there. That keeps the clock moving.
That's right. There's a lot of guys almost got their hand on that ball.
Short punt fielded by Isaac White. Makes a couple moves and is met at the Malvern 30. That's where his return will be stopped, and the Friars will take over on offense.
5:29 remaining with a 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line. Down by 9. They need to move the ball immediately.
The Friars have been held scoreless in this second half of play. Their offense has hardly had the ball in their hands, as Episcopal Academy has done a great job to move the ball on the ground and keep the clock moving. No official possession time, unfortunately, but I think it'd be close to 70-30 tonight in favor of the Churchmen if we had those stats, Jack.
Yeah, I believe you're about right there.
Handoff on first down to Wright. He breaks a couple tackles and is able to turn a loss in the backfield and maybe a gain of 2.
Yeah, Wright really put out an effort there to pick up a couple of yards there. Not much, but he grounded out there. Clock ticking away.
Interesting call there by the Friars to keep it on the ground, as time is now one of their enemies. Fake handoff. White pulls it back, goes up the middle, and picks up the first down. Taken down at the Malvern 45 by Billy Adams.
Yeah, now Lonnie White Jr. there really held that fake for a long time. It seemed like a full second or two, and then saw the opening and burst through it. He is really accelerating on that move.
White rolls out. Has time. Fires deep. Far sideline. It is caught. An incredible catch by Ryan McGuire deep down the far sideline. And the Friars get it into the red zone.
Ryan McGuire with a great catch, but also what a throw by Lonnie White Jr. A bullet all the way downfield. Look at that yardage they picked up on that. 1st and 10, ball on the 8.
46 yards through the air by White to McGuire. He hands it off to Wright on first down, and he gets about 3 yards. Taken down hard by Bush on the play.
That long transaction there where he puts the ball in the gut of Wright, and the defense doesn't know whether White or Wright will run with the ball.
4:08 remaining in the fourth. 2nd and goal for the Friars. Fake handoff. White scrambling to his right. Fakes a throw and dives. He is in.
Wow.
Lonnie White Jr. with a late touchdown run. Pure shaken up on the play.
Pure athleticism on that. Just sprinting hard to his right and just outran everybody. Diving at the end. He seems to be okay. This is a 3-point game right now. They will go for the point after touchdown to make it a 2-point game.
Friars get into the end zone with 3:56 remaining in the fourth. Cabba to take the extra point. Kick is up, and it's good.
29-27, a 2-point lead, 3:56 remaining. Churchmen will receive the ball on a kickoff.
Well, Jack Kapp with 3:56 to go. The Friars trail by 2. They have all 3 timeouts, but they have to send it away to the Churchmen. And Episcopal Academy's offense has been able to dominate the Friars, keeping it on the ground all evening long, picking up first downs and taking time off the clock with ease. What adjustments does Malvern have to make on this drive to potentially force a punt and keep the Churchmen from running the clock out?
Well, they got to stop the run. I mean, clearly, let's see. First of all, is this onside kick?
It's close to it with
close, right?
Just under 4 minutes remaining. You could see it here. Well,
maybe.
You do have all 3 timeouts in your pocket, so
True.
you don't have to go to the onside kick here, trailing by just 3 scores. The question is, does Malvern have anybody to kick a field goal? We haven't seen them try a field goal this season.
So there you go. I don't know. And it's a 2-point game. I'm sorry, 2-point game. Let's see what they do with this kickoff. Now, if they do kick deep and if they can cover the kick, they'll have to stop that ground game, which has been very successful for their home team, Churchmen here. Let's see what happens on this kickoff.
Well, with 3:56 remaining in the fourth, and the Churchmen possessing a 2-point lead, they are playing it as if the Friars will attempt, it looks like, a squib kick. They have 5 men up front anticipating a short kick, and Friars do send it short, but it travels out of bounds, and this is a penalty.
And that's going to draw a penalty flag, which will spot the ball at the 35-yard line of the Churchmen.
Costly penalty there.
Yes,
as it
is.
gives the Churchmen advantageous field position.
Good spot, but the ball took a bounce to the sideline and advantage Churchmen, as you said. Ball will be placed on the 35.
Friars have all 3 timeouts remaining. There's 3 minutes and 56 seconds to go in the fourth. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp. It's been a slugfest here tonight in an inter-rack matchup between 2 unbeaten conference opponents. This could be the game that determines the conference championship, as there is no playoff schedule in inter-rack division play for their football programs.
Just a very short in-league season.
On first down, Adams with a huge gain, still going. Taken down at the Malvern 40. A 25-yard gain by Billy Adams on 1st and 10.
Billy Adams just would not go down on that. A big gainer, and that could be close to, well, it's 3:42 remaining. That could be close to closing this game out. That was a tremendous run.
And they spot the ball on the Malvern 39, so he got 26 yards on the play.
26-yard run.
Churchmen content to use every second they can, let the clock run. Friars still have 3 timeouts. Motion in the backfield. It's a handoff. Adams goes up the middle and gets a couple on the play.
Under 3 minutes now. 2nd and 6, ball around the 30. Where are we here? Maybe the 36.
Dale Law with a tackle on the play, but not before a 4-yard gain. Clock's moving. Churchmen have everything they want working for them on this drive. McDaniel hands it off,
Falk over the left side.
and Falk picks up a solid chunk of yards there, taking down about 2 yards shy of the first down marker.
And that should be a timeout call for the visitors, and I believe it is.
Malvern has to burn a timeout. It's their first of the half.
Clock stops at 2:17. That's the official time on the scoreboard. This will be a 3rd and 2. There's an important play coming up.
Well, with 2:17 remaining, a 3rd down and 2 for the Churchmen. Is this 4-down territory for Episcopal Academy, Jack? If you don't get it on 3rd and 2, do you go for it if you're Episcopal?
Well, I would think yes. The answer is yes.
Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp here for the Sports Fan Base Network. It's been a thrilling Interac affair, a back-and-forth game throughout, and we said it coming into this one, Jack, that this might be the best football game we see all fall season, and it has certainly lived up to the hype. It's a game that could very well decide who comes out as the conference winner when all is said and done in the 2019 campaign.
Certainly appears that way, and that's the way we thought it would occur, and the first half was very high scoring, a little bit less scoring here, a lot less scoring in the second half here. 8-7 in the second half here.
Game on the line, 3rd and 2. McDaniel keeps it, runs right, hits a wall.
There should be another timeout here.
Isaac White was the first man to get to him. Timeout taken by the Friars. Their second.
Yep, they use a second timeout.
So with 2 minutes and 11 seconds, the clock is stopped. Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp here for the Sports Fan Base Network, and it's decision time now for Episcopal Academy. Does Todd Fairley leave his team on the field and go for it on 4th and 3 or punt it? I think, Jack, based upon what we've seen with their 2-point conversions over the last 2 weeks, they're going for it here. This is an aggressive team.
I think they're going for it also. Now, if they did choose to punt, they'd probably want to punt it into a corner. In fact, definitely punt it into a corner and try to keep it from the end zone. Field goal out of the question at this point because it would be a 50-yard field goal. Did I do my math right?
That is correct. Ball on the 33. It would be you always add 17 to the spot of the ball because 7 yards for the placehold, 10 for the end zone.
That's right.
Offense on the field for now for the Churchmen.
And here we go.
4th and 3.
Play of the game.
Friars have to be careful. Can't jump off sides. That would likely seal the deal. McDaniel takes a run. He throws. Pass complete. And diving for the first down and getting it is the receiver, Matt Bush.
Matt Bush, I said it before, I'll say it again. He's the player of the game.
Matt Bush came out of the backfield, caught a swing pass, and picked up a huge first down. Clock's moving, under 2 minutes remaining in regulation. Friars have just one timeout remaining, and all they can do is hope for a fumble.
You talk about yak, how about, that's yards after catch, by the way, but how about that extra effort, that muscle effort by Matt Bush? Very well done, young man. Beautiful play.
On first down, McDaniel keeps it, runs right, and is taken down for a short gain by Kellen Mathias. Timeout is taken by the Friars with 1:30 remaining.
That is the last timeout for the visiting Friars here in Newtown Square. A 29-27 game. Second down, around 9 yards on the 33 or somewhere around there, 32 maybe. I'm sorry, no, ball's up on the 25.
Chris Markowitz alongside Jack Kapp here for the Sports Fan Base Network. And it seems like all Malvern can do now, Kapp, is hope for a fumble and try to get the ball back, but not a lot of time left, 1:30 to go, and the Friars have no timeouts remaining.
And McDaniel smartly went to the ground when he saw a tackler coming at him to avoid the possibility of a fumble on that last play. 1:30 remaining in this game.
Player looks to be banged up on the Episcopal Academy sideline, getting stretched for now.
It's
a member of the Friars.
Number 58.
Number 58 is the jersey number of J.T. Roberts, who plays both ways for the offensive and defensive line.
J.T. Roberts, yep. Number 58, he's up. It looks like either a cramp or something along those lines because he's walking very nicely. He'll have to get off the field.
Well, it's a timeout, so they'll just wait for him to make his way to the sideline.
A little bit of a limp, but he's a big fella. Around 6'2", 270.
Roberts makes it to the sideline under his own power. Churchmen come back onto the field, ready to run another play. It's 2nd down and 9, ball on the Malvern 25. The Friars' 16-game Interac winning streak is on the line. McDaniel keeps it, goes up the middle, has a short gain, and that will keep the clock moving.
3-year winning streak on the line.
The last time the Friars lost an Interac conference game was back on October 14th, 2016, and that was at home against none other than Episcopal Academy. It was a 37-34 victory for the Churchmen. And that seems very similar to this game, Jack. A back-and-forth affair, and it looks like, barring a miracle, the Churchmen will hold on to a narrow victory, their 3rd consecutive victory with less than a touchdown being the margin.
What a season for this Episcopal Academy squad.
McDaniel close to the first down marker, and they will give it to him, and that will do it. Celebration on the Episcopal Academy sideline.
They know it. They've won this game. 40 seconds left on that first down. Clock is running now, and that is the ball game, folks.
A tough road loss for the Malvern Prep Friars, who fall to 3-5 on the season and 2-1 in the Interac. The Episcopal Academy Churchmen will improve to 8-0 on the year, 3-0 in conference play, and they are in the driver's seat to take home this season's Interac Championship.
One of the great seasons in Episcopal Academy history. They rush the field. This game is over. An exciting victory, 2 points, 29-27, Churchmen over the Friars. Fans are rushing the field.
Wow, look at this scene.
Look at this.
Here at Episcopal Academy, a huge victory.
It's mostly girls. It's all girls.
An undefeated team has a chance to win its first Interac championship since 2012. Huge celebration for the Churchmen. The Friars go home with a tough defeat. Jack Kapp, your final thought?
Here, probably the whole senior class.
Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight on the road at Episcopal Academy for our crew and for Haverford.